What's up guys, Dukes here, and a lot of you have been asking me why I don't play or like Duel. Now, don't get me wrong, I think Duel is a great concept. I like the idea of playing a 1v1 against another character, just testing your mechanical skill, trying to outsmart the enemy or just bash his head in. That's really cool to me, and I like 1v1 games like, for example, Mortal Kombat. I also in no way want to discredit any Duel player who plays the game seriously. That is totally fine with me, and as long as people enjoy it, the mode should definitely exist. But these are the top 5 reasons why I think that Duel in Smite sucks. Number 1. Single target bonus. This mostly refers to 2 particular characters, Kali and Hou Yi. Both of them are stronger in Duel than they really should be, simply because of the fact that they have passives or abilities that increase their damage against a specific target. These abilities or passives are fine in Conquest, where you're playing against 5 enemies, and the passive can basically end up on one target, or the mark can be placed on one target. But in a 1v1 scenario, like it is in Duel, it will always be placed on the enemy player, and you get the full benefit at all times. To a different extent, this also counts for characters that are supposed to be shut down by ganks, for example Amusin Cup or Artemis. These succeed in Duel a lot more, simply because there's no one to shut them down with a gank, and they can always front the only enemy they have. This would also go for Hel, which brings us to point number 2. Bulwark of Hope. I think Bulwark of Hope in its current state is still too strong in Conquest anyways, but in Duel it basically changed the face of the meta. Mages were relatively okay, at least some of them, until Bulwark of Hope in its current form got introduced. The item just counters mages way too hard. There are a few exceptions that can still do well, like Kronos, but generally mages struggle a lot more and have an unfair disadvantage over physicals, because there's no real equivalent to Bulwark of Hope in the physical department. We used to have a counter to a similar extent that was Shield of the Underworld, which combined with Hide of the Nemean Lion dealt a lot of damage to a physical attacker, but with that gone, there's no real equivalent anymore. Number 3. The late game meta. This has been a problem in Duel ever since I've played this game, back when it was still called Joust. The problem is that Duel is relatively short, but you have a very high gold and XP gain. Even if you don't get your wave, you will still get XP, and you will most likely make it to level 20 in most scenarios, or at least something that could be considered late game. That is unless one of the opponents is a lot stronger than the other. This is really annoying because it really limits the guard pool of Duel. Ability-based early game characters hardly ever see play. Because why would you pick him over a late game character when you lack the split push potential to take down towers or contest the Bull Demon King easily or whatever? There's just no real point in choosing them unless you want to put yourself at a disadvantage, which is extremely annoying. This could easily be fixed by higher benefits for early kills or similar, or maybe just another smaller Bull Demon King equivalent that allows you to push a tower either or whatever. But Hyros doesn't really seem concerned enough with the mode to do anything about it. Number 4. Titan sitting. In Season 1 and 2, this was Phoenix sitting because it was extremely easy to defend your Phoenix. Now, the Phoenix is a lot more vulnerable simply due to the fact that you can always rotate out to the Bull Demon King, kill the Bull Demon King, and have free access to the Phoenix. However, the whole thing has just shifted further back on the map, because now you have the Titan in a very wide area, but relatively close to the enemy fountain, which means the enemy can just sit at the fountain, hope for you to make a mistake, and keep holding at the Titan. Obviously, there are ways around that. You can try to suicide just to get the Titan to half health or whatever, but as long as the reset health mechanic on the Titan exists, Titan sitting is way too effective. And in all honesty, I don't see a problem with simply removing the Titan reset mechanic for Duel. Just don't let the Titan heal when it resets, and the problem is completely gone and no one can sit anymore. This brings us down to number 1, my main issue with Duel. This has already been slightly mentioned or pointed out in the other points, but I wanted to give it its own point as a core thing. Hunters are completely broken in Duel. Not only do they benefit most from Golden Bow because they have safe, easy, mana inexpensive clear, which allows them to poke freely and helps in a clear heavy meta, which Duel is because you have a full wave that you have to clear on your own. But they can also benefit from the Frost Starless build, meaning they build Hasten Fatalis and Frostbound Hammer, slowing you down while speeding up, and no melee character has an actual chance against them unless they play a lot better. There's no reason not to pick a hunter in duel, especially when all the items kinda help you. Hunters are built for 1v1s. You have Soul Eater that helps you get health back if it ever becomes risky for you. You have Golden Bow to clear, you have Hasten Fatalis, you have Frostbound Hammer. What is there against it that should really help? When other characters build the same items, they can obviously reap the same benefits, but not to the same extent, because if you do it on a melee character, they're just gonna have to get close first in order to even apply Frostbound Hammer, for example, so it doesn't work as well. There are niche characters that do well because of specific reasons, like for example Kali or Herbois, who can still do well just because of his crazy burst, but only in some scenarios anyways. But overall, hunters reign supreme, and they are stronger than they've ever been before in duel. And it's extremely annoying and frustrating, because if you don't play hunters, you might as well not play duel. We will see the removal of Golden Bow in the upcoming patch, but that doesn't change the issues that duel has, and it will probably not make hunters weak enough to them being balanced against the other classes in that mode. This concludes my top 5 reasons why I think duel sucks. And I think a lot of this could easily be addressed. And this, once again, is what annoys me even more maybe than all these singular points about this. Hi-Rez doesn't really care about the mode, and they make it very clear that they don't care. There was a competition, a 1v1 competition between some pros in between games, if I recall correctly, quite a while ago. And the Hi-Rez employees actually mocked duel as a game mode. They were not really willing to commentate on it because they were like, yeah, nothing's happening. Like, what should we say about this? Whatever, blah, blah. And as long as the game mode is not taken seriously, I don't think we can expect any balance to it all too soon. I really hope that this kind of changes over time, and there's either going to be the decision that ranked duel was maybe not the greatest idea and we make it casual duel, but that would piss off a lot of duel ranked players that play it competitively to some extent, and I wouldn't want to see that. I would much rather see some energy being invested into the mode in actually trying to make it balanced and fair, and so that a larger god pool is viable in that mode. And I would appeal to Hi-Rez to simply go up to the best duel players in the world and ask them what they think, how the mode could be adjusted. Because after the beginning of Season 3, a lot of them were expecting great changes, and then all of them ended up being rather disappointed for at least a while. Some of them may have returned to the mode now and they're still playing it, but I don't really feel like most of them are all too happy with the fact that they still only able to play hunters at all times. So that's my take and my opinion on this topic. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments below if you fucking hated this and duel is the best mode ever and I'm just a fucking idiot. I know that I suck mechanically and that's why I'm relatively bad at duels, so don't tell me that because I already know, so I don't care. But whatever. Other than that, thank you guys for watching. Duke Sloth, out.